3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading, in particular, mystery reading number 985. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and would like to help support it, you can do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome, and thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So, starting with interpreting the number 985, the number 9 is about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. The number 8 is about loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. And the number 5 is about change and transformation. And I wanted to say the word change when I was talking about the number 8 as well. And I feel like that's a reminder for me that, of course, whenever a change happens, something is always lost. Or is something gained? I'm kind of getting a feeling, is the glass half full or half empty? I mean, no matter how you look at it, I feel that it is true that loss is there, but I feel that what you choose to focus on is important, and it feels like that message to trust that whatever is lost will be replaced is even more important. I feel like you are being called to focus more on what there is to gain with some sort of loss or change that you're going through that you feel called to initiate. You know, it feels like you're being called to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. And for somebody to focus on being grateful for what you have rather than focusing on what you don't have. And I don't want to, honestly, if I'm feeling really frustrated or upset, it would be frustrating even more to hear somebody tell me, just be grateful for what you have. That's not always helpful. I understand. But sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves and recognize that that is really all we can do for ourselves right now. In this moment, it can be very, very frustrating to not have what we want or to be where we want to be in life. But to hold on to that frustration is going to push us farther away from what we want. And, working against ourselves, it almost reminds me of a self-fulfilling prophecy. This energy feels general. I don't feel like I'm going to get too specific messages from the number 985 itself. I could. We'll see if anything comes up. But I am feeling general messages here right now. So it feels like these messages are for everybody, no matter who's watching. It's important to focus on what there is to gain rather than what there is to lose, to appreciate the sacrifices that you're making. If you're feeling led by a sense of purpose and you're trying to make the world a better place and trying to make your own life better, really, I just feel that this number is about focusing on your sacrifices and appreciating them rather than dwelling on the cost of them. Really, are you willing to pay the price? Is the risk, this doesn't have to resonate for everybody, but is the risk worth it? And if it is, it's okay. Sometimes changing your perspective is not the answer when you're feeling frustrated and upset. In fact, when you're feeling the most frustrated and upset, in my opinion, I feel like it's important to let yourself just feel that and to be okay with how you feel. And then once you're not feeling so stubborn and frustrated and feel tempted to be self-destructive, and you've let yourself kind of just be, then maybe consider changing your perspective, because really sometimes our inner child just wants to throw such a fit that nothing anyone says or does can help. So it could be important or helpful for somebody to find a way to express yourself, to get the frustration, the sadness, the heaviness to sit. I am feeling the energy of death. More specifically, imagery related to the Grim Reaper. Now, this could be death in a literal sense, or it could be death in a metaphorical sense, which is making me think about whenever I was talking about loss and what you choose to focus on. And, acknowledging that, of course, loss will always be there no matter what we focus on. I do think that there is the number 5, the energy of change, transformation. It's not just a little change in perspective or, a little change in the way that you live or anything like that. It's big. It is big. And that would make a lot of sense for why you're feeling so intensely. So I feel called to encourage you to just be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process, especially if you're interpreting death in a literal sense. Be patient with yourself. And I also feel that the universe is asking for patience from you. To be patient toward the universe, whatever higher power you believe in. Because I feel that death is something not even the universe can control. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like one of those things that just is. It's just how the way things work. I do feel a general message coming through to accept what you can't control. Even if there is some power out there that can change this for you, I feel like it's important to accept what you can't control right now, in this moment. So you can give yourself some grace and some peace and just some room to grieve if you need to, no matter how you interpret death or this ending or this change. If you do feel led by a sense of purpose, hold on to that. Trust in it, I want to say. If you feel called to really make a difference, to change as a person, to help make the world a better place. Really just playing your part. The sacrifices, for whoever it resonates for, that you're making, even if they're uncomfortable, I do feel that the universe really appreciates them. And if you would like the universe to show more of that appreciation, I say ask for it. Acknowledge me, support me, show me some more light in my life to let me know that you're still here and that you care. And I feel there's somebody here who might feel like, okay, well, if you want to show me that you care, give me what I want. But that's, to be very blunt about it, I'm not trying to be hurtful, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't. Because I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And that something is the way it is that you don't like. For a reason, there is deeper meaning. And I do think you are being encouraged to seek out that deeper meaning from within yourself, through self-reflection, thinking about your own thoughts and feelings and beliefs about this change or about life or whatever it may be. Adding up these numbers now, 9 plus 8 is 17, and 17 plus 5 is 22, 2 plus 2 is 4. Which I'm really happy to get that number, honestly, because one of the interpretations that I get for the number 4 is the presence of ancestors. So just confirmation that some spirit guides are present with you. Past loved ones are present with you. If you're interpreting death literally and it was a family member, or even if you weren't blood related and it was somebody close to you, I think they want you to know that even though you can't see them, they are there present with you. And you may feel it, you may not. Either way, they're there. And I really feel like whoever is on the other side just wants you to focus on taking care of yourself. I don't think they really want you to punish yourself with things that you can't control. It's really good that you care. It really is. But it's not good to care so much that it's self-destructive. You could even, if you want to, use these intense feelings to invest in something that you're passionate about, or that sense of purpose that you feel, that meaning. And if you don't feel a sense of meaning right now, which I feel like could be very likely for somebody, the only way you're going to find that meaning is by looking within and connecting with your own spirit, your own soul, and with spirit around you. I think it's called animism. That might be a significant belief that somebody may want to look into. There could be something significant here about autism. The number 4 is also about stability, peace, and balance, which I feel is encouragement from your ancestors in particular to take care of yourself right now, in this moment, to balance yourself emotionally so you don't risk destabilizing the stability that you already have. No matter how little or how much stability you have, you don't want to sabotage what you have right now. I believe that if we take for granted what we have, we're going to lose it. So maybe somebody here wants to be a little more cautious when they feel tempted to be self-destructive. I'm going to move into the cards portion of this reading now. I'm going to use these playing cards here, and I'm going to draw out 7 cards. That number 7, I've been feeling drawn to it for the last couple of readings, which is why I've been pulling out 7 cards from these playing cards. And that number is literally about finding deeper meaning, learning and gaining wisdom, and expanding your consciousness and your awareness. You could know more than you do now, but everything you need to know already exists within you. Someone here may need to learn to trust themselves more and how to connect with their intuition more, or even their psychic senses. Oh, okay. So one of the cards just fell on the floor, but I just saw that this was on the floor, and I didn't even know it. It is the Ace of Hearts, or the Ace of Cups. And it says looking. There could be somebody here. This is very specific, so only take it if it resonates, if it feels right. There could be somebody here with something significant about a relationship or a connection. It doesn't have to be romantic, but there is an opportunity here to express yourself emotionally, whether there's a relationship involved or not. There is an opportunity here. And I feel like if you do have close people in your life, you are being called to connect with them, to connect with your support system. Because you really don't have to carry this darkness and this heaviness alone. You don't have to move through this change alone. The card that fell on the floor is the 7 of Spades, or the 7 of Swords. It says dishonest, sneaky, and greedy. I feel that this reflects the risk of being dishonest with yourself. I feel like there could be a real warning here for mentally and emotionally before they lose more than they already have. Because you deserve what you have. You deserve to appreciate what you have, even if it's hard. And when it feels hard, don't even worry about what you have. Just worry about how you feel. And let yourself do that. Feel. Maybe there's some sort of activity that you could do to help you express yourself and process these emotions. Okay, so we have the Joker. I'm curious of how I want to interpret this. I actually felt that since these cards, these playing cards, they represent the minor arcana cards in tarot, but the pages are missing because there's only king, queens, and jacks, which represent the knights, king, and queens, and it's missing the page. The letter P could be significant for somebody too. This makes me think that there is something significant about your inner child connecting or reconnecting with your younger self to help you have more faith and more hope, especially if you went to church as a kid or something like that. I'll drop more cards. I feel like this Joker could also be about, I'm getting a couple more interpretations. There's something here about laughing, really tapping into a deep-seated sense of joy, a pure joy about life, regardless of the parts we don't like about it. There is more beyond this point. The other interpretation I have is this feeling of madness, going mad, or feeling like you're going insane. And I feel like somebody here could be walking a thin line. Maybe a better way to visualize it is you're walking on a tightrope. You're not careful with your steps forward, you might fall off. I feel like there really is an actual warning here to protect your emotional state so you can protect your physical state. If you don't already know it, at least in my opinion, with manifestation, whatever is happening on the inside manifests or is created outwardly. And that's why it's so important to take your mental health, your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being so seriously, because that is exactly what controls your reality. Because those things have a strong influence, if not defines, your choices. Let's go ahead and get another card. I have the Nine of Hearts. It says indecisive. Yeah, this is confirming for somebody who feels a really deep sense of satisfaction or dissatisfaction, disappointment, frustration. Somebody here could also be feeling really filled with regret. And it's so easy for us to be harsh towards ourselves, to punish ourselves and blame ourselves for things that really aren't our fault. Yes, there is such thing as karma, but I don't believe that karma equals punishment. Even though we kind of joke like, oh, I hope they get their karma. I wish it kind of didn't have that stigma, because I feel like it makes it harder for people to take karma seriously enough to actually make the changes that they need to make to get better karma or better reactions. You know how they say every action has a equal but opposite reaction? Maybe not opposite in the terms of karma. Well, I mean, with this reality, it sure does feel like it, huh? Let me get some more cards. I was actually thinking about the number 9 here and how it's reinforcing the sense of purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. And I realized the other number we have is number 7. I really encourage you to find a sense of purpose. Because you could just have this general feeling of feeling lost and confused in life that is generating these intense negative feelings that might, sabotage you or make you feel like you're dragging yourself through life. Wow, okay. This reading is feeling very guided. Very, very guided. Because I just drew the Eight of Clubs, which in other words is the Eight of Wands. This came out in the previous reading that I just recorded today, 984. So if you're feeling particularly connected to your ancestors or a past loved one, maybe go watch that other one. But in that reading, this number 9 right here feels connected to this number 8. If you've been watching previous readings recently, you'll understand why this is feeling so guided. And after I saw this card, I saw 345 on the timer, which is a sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. Even the number 345 itself was significant. Because in the beginning of the reading, I was like, I think I saw the number 234, and I was like, but for some reason I'm seeing the number 345. And then at the end of the reading, we saw the number 345. So I just feel like there's a lot of encouragement for you to find purpose and meaning and to trust that everything really does happen for a reason. Like I just said in the reading that I just recorded, that I like to say sometimes things look like magic or are unexplained because we don't understand the logic or the mechanism behind it, but you do have the power to understand that. But the only way you're going to understand it is by looking within, allowing yourself to heal and to intertwine your spiritual practices with your healing. This Eight of Wands and Eight of Clubs is a fast-moving energy. You could be feeling uncomfortable with how fast things feel like they're moving. And the best way to help slow things down is to spend more time in silence or spend more time motivating, not distracting yourself. Just being present is a really good way to slow, or to at least make time feel like it's moving slower. Wow. You have the Eight of Spades, or the Eight of Swords, feeling trapped and hopeless. This one was specifically significant for the last reading. Unreal. Very unreal. I actually saw this one in the last reading, and it makes a lot of sense. You are feeling trapped and hopeless, and I feel like this reading is encouraging you to find hope and set yourself free. I really feel like you are trapping yourself in the belief that there isn't more, that you can't be more, that there isn't more in the future to enjoy. But only you can be the one to truly convince yourself that believing in better and the good, especially with the Joker here, you're the only one who has control in acquiring or embracing that belief. And I feel that that's a really important message here, to recognize that you are the one in control. Of course, there are things in this world that you don't have control of, but you do have a level of control in this world, and it's over yourself, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own beliefs, your own decisions, and ultimately your own reality. And this, I feel like I'm being brought back to a warning here. If you don't recognize that you are in control, at least to some degree, then I really feel like you're going to regret it. I feel like you would regret being a victim to your own mind, your own stubbornness and frustration and negative expression, I guess is the best way that I could put it. Well, no, I guess negative expression isn't the right word, because actually I think that's healthy, to express the negativity so you can get it out of your system and process it. I'm just trying to say that the universe, your spirit guides, especially your ancestors, it feels like they're trying to encourage you to protect yourself from yourself. So let's get one last card here. I also wanted to talk about the 8s here. Just having trouble talking there. Maybe you are having trouble expressing yourself, and it's important to address that. But the number 8 reinforces what we already talked about with the number 8 and 985. With loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced, and focusing on what there is to gain rather than what there is to lose. And if this is death in the literal sense, what there is to gain is more spiritual. And it can be more material or physical, but I really feel like it's more spiritual. Don't you want to connect more with the universe, your spirit guides, your faith? I have the 2 of Hearts. When I first pulled it out, it got yes. But then I felt called to have it in reverse. It says no. So it feels like some part of you wants to choose emotional stability and to focus on the good. But another part of you is like, no, we're not doing that. I'm too upset, too frustrated, I don't know enough, and I hate this. But you can know more. I just looked here looking. I think the more that you're looking for, like I've been saying this whole time, is going to come from within. I feel like the 2 biggest messages here are trusting that everything happens for a reason, and allowing yourself to look inward to find peace and to find the answers that you need, especially when it comes to your faith and what all of this means.